His best day ever is 15,000. His proudest Cutco achievement is winning the Silver Cup back in 2021. Nice job, JC. His education, he's earned three college degrees. What college did you go to?
Merced College. It's in the Central Valley, in Central
Oh, nice.
California.
Awesome. And his family, he's happily partnered, celebrating 4 amazing years this spring. Congratulations. Fun fact, he's a first generation college graduate, and his hobbies are playing volleyball and softball and hosting friends and family. And the reason why he's speaking on this message because the last 3 years, he has sold over 280K in total mall sales. In 2022, he was number two in mall sales. In 2023, he placed number one. And in 2024, he was number three in mall sales. And he runs the Roseville Galleria Mall. Is that correct?
Mhm.
And which has been the number one mall in the company since 2022. And yeah, to go ahead and talk to us about maximizing malls in the next few months, JC Miranda, take it away.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Lucky. And thanks everybody for being here. It's nice to see some familiar faces. My division's very spread out, so I kind of rarely see a lot of the CSPs in my division. So it's really cool to see people that I rarely get to see, maybe once or twice a year on the call. So once again, just thank you so much for having me. I'm going to keep this as simple as possible. I'm also always an open book, so please don't hesitate to contact me directly for any questions. I always have my phone with me, obviously, during like the kiosk season, and I take phone calls from reps all over. So shoot me a call, shoot me a text if you have any questions. I'm more than welcome to share like my marketing, my calendar templates, all that good stuff. But yeah, today I'm going to be talking about maximizing your mall experience. Sorry if my voice is a little raspy. I'm like getting over a cold, and it's like one of the first colder days here in Northern California. I'm like freezing, and my heater's not even on. So yeah, let's get into it. I'm gonna be very transparent with everybody. I haven't always been a mall person. When I first started, I struggled extremely. I'm sure everybody has that when at one point when they first started malls. I'm not sure if everyone just like goes out and crushes it. Um, to be very honest, my first 3 years working the malls were not profitable at all. In 2018, that was when I first was introduced to malls. I sold a grand total of 205 CPO in a total of 5 shifts. And I'm at that time, that was like a huge chunk of change per shift. It was just like under 200 bucks. And I remember thinking like, this is not for me. I can't do this. This is not sustainable. I don't see how people could do this. There was even a time where I considered quitting Cutco altogether just because I couldn't justify paying and not making money. You know what I mean? And if, like I said, if you worked malls long enough, you know that they're not cheap. But I did stick with it and I learned and I adapted. And now working the mall in December is one of my biggest pillars of my business. And it not only drives my income through the season, but it also feeds my client relationships long term. And many of my clients come back and see me at the mall every single year. It's like something to look forward to. They bring their family, they bring their friends. It's like a tradition, as I say. And they know where to find me. They know where to look for me, just because of the foundation and the presence that I've built every single year. And with proper promotion and drive, it could happen. So when it comes to success at the mall, my mindset revolves around two key things. The first key thing is creating business at the booth, like actually creating it, not waiting for it to come to me. And I know a lot of other reps, like they'll send out like an email or a text and like they'll hope for attendance through that, but I don't rely on new business, if that makes sense. Like I'm confident that every year when I go into my mall season or when I go into an event that I'm going to be more than profitable alone just from my past clients coming to see me at the booth or the referrals that they send. So the biggest thing for me is that I create business at the booth before the mall even starts, before I even go into my first shift. I know I have CPO ahead of me. And the second thing is maximizing every single interaction through mindset and intentionality. So Once again, when it comes to creating business at the booth, there are three main ways I do this. The first is with service, sharpening, driving customers to the booth for sharpening. And I call this sort of concept my month-long service event because I'm there throughout the whole month of December. And most people may actually think, not most, but some, they're like, wow, JC, like you must work at the mall every single day. Like you're just committed. And I'm like, I'm committed, but I'm not working every single day. Absolutely not. Like, if you know me, like, I'm like Mexican and we celebrate a lot of Christmas throughout the month. I'll never work more than 9 hours within one day. And I do take a lunch break, and I never work more than 5 days in a row. And every single year, I always have Christmas Eve, obviously Christmas Day, and the day after Christmas off. So one service. The second thing is with the raffle. And I promote this all throughout the year. And every time like I have a new client or I kind of like tell them what they could expect of me. Every time like I'm at a booth or sharpening, I promote that I'm at the mall. Like I tell them a lot of my clients like to come see me at the mall every single year. That's usually where my clients in the area will bring their knives and they'll add on to their next step of their Cutco collection. So, and then I talk about the raffle too. So giving clients a no purchase necessary reason to stop by. And that just lets me kind of touch base with them, check in, and I promote the raffle. I talk about how much I'm going to give away, and I'll get into that in a little bit too. But I essentially get them fired up about that. I get them excited. It's like, oh, a raffle, like just for stopping by, no purchase necessary. And the third thing is with referrals. Once again, creating new business, getting my clients to send their friends and family to me. And a lot of people know other people that go to the mall. If it's like a relative, a friend, whoever it may be, it's like while you're already there, you might as well go see my Cutco guy JC. Just kind of like that mindset. Like even if it's just a quick stop by. Um, so with service, turning sharpening into sales. So once again, when I first started doing malls, I had no program, no system, nothing figured out. I would get a bunch of sharpening leads from the mall, and I would schedule them for after the holiday season. That's kind of like what would build my January after the holidays. But it wasn't until 2021 when I started offering sharpening at the booth, and that changed everything. Before each mall season, I would send out like a marketing, before each mall season, sorry, this is what I do. I send out marketing to all my clients in the area via text, email, and postcards with a QR code that has a link they could scan and schedule sharpenings right there. So I would say that's one of the first big things that's like made a huge change when it came to scheduling my clients for sharpening is that I have it in all my marketing, ways to access, to click, just to make it very easy for them to schedule. And then they can see my personal schedule with all the days and hours that I'll be working. And in that link, clients can choose a time slot when to come in. And they can also select what categories they're considering seeing with me. If it's cookware, flatware, if they're a business owner, etc., this just allows me to be a bit more efficient when it comes to my time with them. Because when I'm with a client, I try to be as quick and efficient as I can, especially during the mall season. And I don't make myself completely available every single time I'm at the mall. I'm very strategic on blocking off sharpening times and when I'm going to be available, when I don't want to be available. Obviously, on the busier days of the week, I'm going to be very occupied with working with new clients and things like that. So I'm very intentional on like when I'm going to be doing sharpenings and when I'm not going to be. And when Cutco owners also come up to the booth that do not have an active rep, and ask about sharpening. We've all been there when someone comes up like, "How do I get my knife sharpened?" I schedule them right there on the spot. I don't tell them like, "Oh, like here's my card, contact me later," or "Here's the address to ship in your knives," or no, I don't even text them the link. I get them scheduled right there. And of course, I'm creating urgency like, "Hey, we're here for a limited time. we're here to one, help people who own Cutco get their stuff sharpened and help people who don't own our product just get more details about us and what we're offering here during the mall season. But I'm very like efficient and quick when it comes to scheduling those people when they come up to the booth. And that one change alone has saved me hours of follow-up and has helped me serve dozens of clients throughout each season. And when they usually ask like how to bring their knives, I tell them like, wrap them in cloths or put them in like a tote bag or whatever it may be, whatever's safer. I have some on like my PCs, my clients who like have ultimates. They'll just bring them like in a wagon. I'm like, hell yeah, that's how I know they're my client. Just don't want to have them walk around like where it's visible. Um, Little touches like that make you seem more approachable and professional and make it seem like it's a normalized thing. Um, Now, when it comes to my raffle, I very much am intentional on getting them like fired up and excited, just like come, check in, and enter into the raffle. This is another big driver for me every single year. Last year, I'm very generous. I gave away about $600 in free Cutco. This year, I'm bumping it up to 700, and I'll probably increase it every single year. Obviously, as my business grows and as more and more people come and enter into it. But there's three ways to enter into it. The first and most important way is just stopping by. I put that kind of like headlining in my marketing where just by stopping by, they get an enter into the my raffle. And usually when they stop by, like if they're my past client, like I'll check them in. I'm like, oh, let me go and check you in. Can I get your last name real quick? They remind me your last name, and like I'll actually check them into my CRM. But I this like allows me to like slow them down and like pull up their information, see the last time like I've serviced them, or see the last time I saw them, or I could also see like what they own or what's next in their Cutco collection, and this kind of helps me create an opportunity to go into my sales process. The second way to enter the raffle is to bring a friend or a family member who doesn't already own Cutco or who does not have an active rep that they already work with. And then the third is by additional purchases. So essentially, for every $500 that they spend, they get an extra entry into the raffle. So it just naturally encourages them to order big more and more, which is more fun in that sense too. But the raffle essentially creates a reason to connect. It rewards loyalty and it just keeps me top of mind all year. The third thing, when it comes to referrals, this just keeps my pipeline full. This just always gets more and more new clients to me every single year. So my referral program ties directly into my raffle program and service and marketing. So for every new customer they send me who makes a purchase, both the person referring and the new client both get a free Cutco gift from me. And I talk about it. I kind of drop seeds like, oh, what are you considering? Or like, what do you want? And just kind of get them like sold on that idea to get that item for free. So when they send me their friend or family member, they already know what they could expect. I also let clients build a Cutco credit with me through referrals, and I keep track of that. So, like, if they refer friends and family through me throughout the year or throughout the season, they could apply that credit towards a big purchase, like an upgrade or cookware or flatware, whatever that may be. This not only motivates them to refer, but it gets them thinking about what's next in their Cutco kitchen journey. Now, the second key pillar to a successful Moss season is just maximizing every interaction. So, this is all with your mindset. It's to me like, yeah, I'm running a business, but I'm not just making sales. I'm creating a connection. I'm creating a connection, like as if they're a family member or a friend. I just want to be carry myself with very much integrity and also creating a buying atmosphere, so people want to buy, versus me kind of like targeting them into it, I guess you could say. So my question essentially for everybody is, do your clients know that you have their best interest at heart? And that's something that I'm very intentional with every single person who's in front of me. I let them know one way or another that I have their best interest at heart. And I make it very clear from the start. Something I love to say, and I actually got this from Deanna years ago, and I probably say it like multiple times every single day, is that there's something that my clients all know about me. There's two big things. One, I'll never let you buy anything that you're not going to use or that you can't budget. And second, if there's ever a way I could help you save, I'm going to let you know how. So during the holidays, I remind them that Cutco is only there for a limited time. I highly recommend getting like some sort of like board, or there's like a really cool one on Amazon where you can like put in letters and there's like a light. I got that idea from Mike Dowd, but essentially I put here for a limited time. So it just creates that atmosphere like, oh, it's urgent. Like I should kind of react while I can, or especially like in the last week. I love it when it's like 7 days left or 3 days left, whatever that may be, just kind of like, oh crap. And I just love referring to this time every single time. And then the second thing I always refer to is that the price increase is coming. And it's always around the turn of the year. So it's kind of like, you could totally wait, but it's going to be more expensive at that point. And like I said, I'm going to try helping you save, and the best time would be right now. Um, Something that Curtis said last year that I started to implement right away, and it was a huge difference when it came to just that buying atmosphere of creating the openness to buy Cutco at that moment, was that Cutco is actually the most requested product here at the mall. And they're like, oh, I'm like, yeah. And that's like why we're here. We're here just for the season. I'm like, ideally, we'd love to be here all year long, but we don't have the staffing for that. So we do want to maximize the time here during the holiday season to help people with their gifting or adding onto their collection at home, just because this time of the year people are cooking more often. They're like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. So I'm just kind of like creating that picture and that drive for them to be open to looking at Cutco. Um, Use those to your advantage, and it'll create urgency plus sales, which will create results. So, another thing that I actually take pride in is that I try my best not to let them walk. That is like something that I know when they're like, I'm gonna walk around and think about it. I almost kind of get like excited because like I know they're not gonna walk around right now. Like I know that they're gonna either tell me yes or no right then and there. But I feel like during this season, during the holiday season, at the mall specifically, everybody says that they're going to walk around and think about it more than average compared to a traditional event. Just because like the mall is kind of designed like that, where people are just walking, walking. They always tell me something like, "Oh, I parked right here. I had to come back this way on my way out." They tell me that like all the time. Like, "Oh, cool, I parked right there too." I'm just like creating a connection. But this is where I really slow them down. And I'm like, okay, yeah, no worries. Totally understand. I'd probably want to walk around and think about it too. You know what? While you're here right now already, let me just go ahead and write this down for you. So like I'm slowing that down, like writing it down, like on my little brochure. And then this is where I really kind of dial into actually what a lot of Chelsea's talks. She has great not walking, don't walk talks that I just kind of like channel and really dig into. But I really just get very clear on finding out what they're considering, if they could budget it, and then I handle the objection right there on the spot so that when they go, they feel good. But essentially, when customers hesitate, I gently educate. So, something I tell them is that I've been doing this mall every single year since 2019. And every year, people say they want to think about it. And what usually happens by the end of the day, they look for the car, not the Cutco booth, and I never see them again. But sometimes I'll see them the following year, and prices have unfortunately gone up. Because Cutco is an American-made product, we're guaranteed forever. We have to keep up with the supply and demand and all that stuff. And when people see me, they're like, "Oh, it's Cutco JC! Oh my gosh, how much were the knives we were looking at when we first saw you?" And I show them, and we're always more expensive. And those customers, they still end up buying it at that moment because they know it'll be the cheapest now than it'll ever be. And I tell them this story because I want to prevent them from being those people. And I want them to save the most then versus paying more later. And that story works almost every single time because it's true. Another favorite line I heard once was the best time to buy Cutco was 30 years ago when it was a fraction of the cost. The second best time is today because prices go up every single year. And I just utilized the crap out of that. Um, Keep in mind, guys, we're not just selling knives. We're helping families invest in a quality American-made product that they're going to use every single day for the rest of their life. So you just have to really be intentional on helping them understand that you have their best interest and really just feed off that. Create a world-class experience. Treat every visitor like they're walking into a five-star boutique, not a standard mall booth. Like as an example, all the other kiosks, it's like the lotion people or whatever the heck, and they're like trying to fish for people. I always make sure our booth is presentable at all times, that it's clean, it's concise, it's congruent, it's approachable, it's friendly. I'm never like just on my phone texting. I'm like looking busy, so it's like more approachable, I guess you could say. Um, don't be afraid to slow them down, ask questions, and make it personal. If someone says, I'm spending a lot of money on gifts for others. Show them how Cutco makes the perfect gift in that sense. So, if they say, I'll bring my spouse later, keep them engaged, show them bundles, offer bonuses, and make them staying worthwhile, Lock them into something now. Locking them into something now is better than a promise for a purchase later on. We all know that. And remember that people buy from people who listen, care, and educate. So just some quick overall tips. Take care of your life before the season starts. So you don't ever want to go into the mall season and think about all the bazillion things you have going on, like an oil change or errands. You want to make sure that you take care of your family time, you have your schedule on point, your budgeting, vitamins, rest. Those are all key important things. This is a marathon, not a sprint. Once again, I'll never work more than 5 days in a row at the Galleria just because I very much value work-life balance and I don't want to work like 10 days in a row, if that makes sense, just because I know that I won't be as intentional with people within work or outside of work. I really want to make sure that I have that balance. So, staggered shifts keep my energy consistent. So, essentially, having like an opener and a closer, and then just so it kind of like staggers off from one another. Don't get discouraged on your immediate results if they're not what you expect. So, as an example, last year for the first 2 weeks, I was down in sales compared to the year prior. However, it always averages out in the end. I still had my best December ever. So despite being down, it just kind of made sense with the consistency. Um, you want to be early to your shifts, so expect delays and be ready. So when it comes to like parking, there's always like it's always crazy at the mall, full transparency. So you just want to make sure that you're never late. Take breaks. I will always take a break every single shift that I work. So like if that's like a lunch break, I go stretch, I go get a massage sometimes, I drink a ton of water, all that good stuff. And just don't be that person that eats out every single shift. So I meal prep, or sometimes like I'll pay for a meal service. So whatever that means for you, just make sure that you're not eating out every single day. Stay engaged at the booth. Don't be on your phone, or you just want to stay approachable overall. So if you need to get work done too, that's a great opportunity during your downtime. So like I love bringing my laptop, calling past clients for my holiday sale, all that good stuff. Luckily, where we're at, there's like a cafe right across from us. So sometimes like on the slower times, like I'll go and make some phone calls. And when it's low too, don't be afraid to fish for conversations, like comments, like, "Oh, I see you just came from Nordstrom. Like, are there any good deals going on right now?" Or like, "Oh, what new scents do they have at Bath and Body Works?" I'm just kind of asking questions to really slow people down. Um, and lastly, just be present. Be as present and intentional as you can. It's so easy to be discouraged and burnt out and want to leave early or mentally check out when it's slow. But remember, this could be one of your big key events of the year. So ask yourself, what can I do or say to help this person get Cutco today? Really focus on putting yourself in their shoes and what you would want to hear to make a good, confident decision today. Every single interaction counts. Every person is a relationship waiting to grow. And if I can do it, you absolutely can do it too. So, thank you so much, guys.
Awesome message, JC. I had a lot of takeaways and got a lot of things to listen to after we get the recording out to our team. So we do have a few minutes for Q&A. We're gonna have like a 10-minute Q&A session. So if anyone wants to have a question for JC, go ahead. All right, I see Kevin's hand raised. Go ahead, Kevin.
Thanks, JC. Question about the referral in the raffle. You said basically if you bring a family or friend by the booth, you get an extra chance in the drawing. Do you require them to buy like their referral to buy a certain amount?
Yes, I do have that amount right here too. Um, full transparency, like in the marketing, like in a disclosure, I do have this a minimum amount, but most times, like I'm feeling very generous and I'm very like open. So if someone buys a knife, I'm just worried about them getting on my database. So if they buy a knife or anything, like I'm still gonna hook up my client with something for free. If that's like a cutting board or if that's like something they've been considering on their wish list or just a little something extra as a thank you. But I'm very generous this time of the year compared to other times. So I do have like a specific minimum, but I can get them on the list. I'm going to be more than happy to take that client.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Any other questions for JC? We got time for a couple more. I know we got some questions out there. Come on.
I had another question if nobody else has one.
Go ahead.
Um, for sharpening at the booth, what have you felt are like the best times for you to make sure that you're not like sharpening during like busy hours, or like certain days, or do you just have, what does that schedule look like for you?
Absolutely. So my personal schedule, I'm off every Tuesday and Wednesday. Tuesdays, and it's just because like I have volleyballs on both those days. So I'm working the remaining days. Excuse me. Um, I'm always sharpening every day that is not a weekend day, just because on Saturday and Sunday, those are the more busier days. Um, on those days, if I am sharpening, it's always at the very beginning of my shift or at the end of my shift, and I usually do 2 or 3 appointments. But within the last 2 years, what I've been doing differently compared to people bringing their knives and I'm just sharpening them right there on the spot, I'm letting my clients drop off their knives. And then I give them the Cutco kitchen brochure that has like all the products, like the quad fold. And I just tell them like, hey, I'm gonna go and take care of your knives. I should be done with them in about 30 to 45 minutes. Take your time. But just make sure that you save me 10 to 15 minutes when you come back, just so I can go over everything and I can show you any new products or programs that you're considering. Go ahead and take this brochure. This just has like a bird's eye view of everything that we make, and then we can go from there. But what that does when I let them walk around and take care of some errands or things is that I'm sharpening and I'm available for new clients to come up to the booth and I'm able to still work with them. So that has been like the biggest game changer. And what I've even noticed is that when I'm sharpening, people are like curious about that. If they're an owner or non-owner, like if they're an owner, they're like, how do I get my stuff sharpened? And then boom, like I direct schedule them. Or two, if they're like a non-owner, they're like, can I bring my knives to get them sharpened? And I'm like, oh, do you have Cutco? And that's when I go into that. But like I have so many memories over the past year or two of like my show book being over knives that I'm sharpening because I'm like selling to other people coming up while I'm sharpening my other clients' knives that are walking around. And it's
Mm,
also good too to like be in good communication with somebody that you're working with because like if you're occupied and if you have a client come up trying to drop off their knives to just make sure that you guys are on the same page of the intake and the proper expectations with drop off, if that makes sense.
yeah. I like that.
I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, yeah. No, definitely. I actually felt that struggle last year when I was sharpening knives, and then people would come up to the booth, and I'm like, well, I kind of want to talk to them. It sounds like they're interested, but I don't want to, I want to focus on my customers. So, I like that as long as you're, putting kind of
Expectation.
a hook on them to make sure that obviously they're going to come back for their knives. They have to, or come back. So you don't need them there during the sharpening. So
Absolutely. And usually I'll even tell them like I'm gonna inspect everything, whatever that needs to go back, I'll send back for you. So just make sure that you have enough time allotted so we could review that information. So they'll know like, okay, I need to have some time allotted. So
perfect.
Sweet,
mhm.
sweet. We got Josh, you have your hands raised. Go ahead and mute yourself.
Thank you, JC. Awesome message. I have a couple quick questions. One, I would love to see your booth display. So if you can send a picture maybe to Lucky or Noah, and then they can post that in the group chat. um, One question was on mindset because I feel like I did a better job of this last year, but sometimes by the end of mall season, I feel a little bit gassed, essentially, where I'm just finding it harder to stay present, which that's probably the most important time to stay present. And so was just curious if you had any tips or advice on that. And I think this year I don't have any more than 5 days in a row, and um, like the idea of taking lunch and breaks. So, but
Absolutely, Josh.
any additional advice on that?
Yeah, totally. And Noah's right too. Get those massages. No, but this is like with personal experience. It's usually like busy around Black Friday and the very beginning of December, but then it always goes down and then it picks back up when it comes to mall attendance. So something I tell myself is that the best people are still ahead of me. No matter what I'm selling or no matter what I'm not selling, I'm always telling myself the best people are still ahead of me. So that's just kind of mentally getting me very excited to talk to the next person. And it could be so draining too to talk to people back to back to back or hear so many no's because I'm like everybody else. Like I get that all the time. I've even had a few 0 days at the mall. It still happens. So it's very easy to get discouraged, but something I'm always telling myself is that the best people are ahead of me. And more than likely, I have my biggest days at the mall towards the end of this season. There's always procrastinators that are shopping last minute, and sometimes you'll even see that it's easier to get a yes compared to a no because they know they messed up and they procrastinated, so they need that gift right away. Or they know that the season's ending, so hey, we only have a couple more days left here at the mall, so they decided to get the set there compared to wait a longer time. So just really making sure that I'm in the proper headspace by telling myself the best people are ahead of me. And then also, I am not afraid to go on a walk. Like, I'm not thinking about missed opportunity. Like, if I'm not afraid to send people on a walk either, because it's inevitable. I feel like everybody during mall season, it's so easy to get discouraged. I am not afraid to go on a walk and be gone for like 30 minutes to an hour, take care of some shopping myself, get my mind off things. because like I still get discouraged sometimes to this day, so don't feel bad. But I will do those things, or like same thing if there's like a bad vibe in the booth, my coworker Danny, I'll be like, Danny, I love you, but bro, go take a walk. All right, go get us some coffee real quickly. Like here's some money. Go get us some coffee. Just like a little example. But I know those things add up over time. But that's just like the best way I could describe that.
Awesome. Thank you. I do have one more question if no one else has questions.
Yeah, make it quick.
Okay. I one last question was I find sometimes mall season my averages can dip a little bit because you run into like one or two piece orders a little bit more. So either what you do to stay focused on packages in those scenarios, um, or just anything advice on that.
Absolutely. And I think that happens to most people too. I totally see it in my averages where it'll fluctuate during the season more compared to a traditional event. Um, and I still get those one piece orders, especially if it's a gift. But something I love to say that I actually got from my coworker Hung a couple years ago when people are looking at like individual items or if it's like a gift. So yeah, we definitely have a la carte pricing. And I say that because we're like, oh, a la carte, like it's gonna be more expensive if I buy individually. However, we do have some piece packages where any five or more items, we're treating it like a set. So you still get the same set savings where you can save up to 20%. And I say items, and I tell them like you can mix and match with cookware, knives, gadgets, stuff like that. But I specifically say up to, just because they choose five items, they're not going to get the 20%. You know what I mean? But up to, it just gets them more open. I'm able to slow them down and build their bigger package. But that saying alone has helped me help those people that were initially considering one or two items to do five or more.
Sweet. That's all the time we got. Thank you so much, JC, for giving back to our team, giving the goods on malls. Crush your mall. I know you're gonna crush it, and I'm sure I can speak for everybody on this call. I appreciate you giving the goods today. So thank you so much.
Of course, thank you guys for having me. I'm so grateful. Don't hesitate to reach out. I'm an open book, so thanks, guys.
All right. Post your number on the chat. All right.
Hey,
Sounds good.
real quick, Lucky, I just want to also say thank you to JC. As a team, guys, we are working 6 malls this year in our Cutco region team. So if you still need or want to work any malls, we have some availability at almost every single one of our malls. So reach out to me directly, and we can help you get scheduled for some mall shifts still.
All right. Sounds good. So we got our last speaker of the day, the one and only Tara Michelli. Um, and the topic she's speaking on is customer follow-up and selling in the fall. Some highlights from Tara. Career sales is 4.8 million. Best week, I'm sorry, is 47,014, and her best day ever is not sure. I'm sure it's a lot. That's for sure. Her proudest achievement, Cutco achievement is doubling her sales in 1 year. 2021, she sold 348K. 2022, she sold 652K. She broke every single personal record that year. That is fire. Her family, married to Pat, who is also a Hall of Fame Cutco rep, now runs their second business. They have 7 kids in a blended family, 10 grandkids, plus one more in September. Congratulations. And fun fact, New Kids on the Block are my favorite band. I've seen them multiple times and met them. And yes, they have Cutco for me. Danny uses logoed Cutco in his cooking shows. In 2019, I saw them 5 times in 5 nights. Wow. Hobbies are going to concerts, spending time with kids and grandkids. Topic today is customer follow-up and selling in the fall. Tara, take it away.
Just one correction. My career sales is over 5 million now. So
All right, sweet.
gotta fix that.
Sure.
Fixing all the website too, people. Hey guys. So I'm going to talk about customer follow-up, selling in the fall, consistency, connection. I am somebody that's built my business on three things: follow-up, consistency, and relationships. I've been doing this for almost 17 years, and I can tell you with 100% confidence that follow up is where the money is. So today is not necessarily about working harder, but about working smarter. And I want to show you how to finish the year strong without burning out, um, and by using intentional follow up and smart systems. So, fall to me is like setup season. It's the time to reconnect, re-engage, and re-inspire your customers to buy for themselves, for others, and for their businesses. So I've got 7 steps. So we'll go through those. I am a meat and potatoes kind of girl, so I just like give the goods and get out. So don't expect like a long-winded message that mean like with a lot of words. I'm just going to give you the goods. So step one is planning ahead. This is what I love to do. I believe success is not random. I believe it's directly related to planning. So everybody wants a strong November and December, but sometimes they forget that the secret of having their best November and December is that it starts in September and October. So planned marketing creates predictable results. And so this is what it looks like for me. I have my postcards and catalogs already planned out in the spring of when they're going to go out for the fall. My postcards have already dropped. I just got one in the mail. Pro tip, if you send postcards, please mail yourself one so you know when they're landing in mailboxes so that you can start making those calls. Um, so postcards for me dropped at the beginning of October, and I went as late as I could on catalogs from Cutco. So October 22nd is when those drop. I always have those two things planned out, and I keep them in a spreadsheet with two different labels of all of my postcards. There's like 4,500, I think I sent out this year, and like 1,500 catalogs. And so I have those on two different labels in a spreadsheet so that we know who to follow up with. Um, and we color code I have multiple colors that help me. So we color code in there when they've been called or when they've been closed. It's an easier way for me to track my sales as well because they're all green when they've been closed with CPO on one side. So I don't have to really think about how much I sold in my holiday sales. A gratitude voice drop or text is imperative. I am not doing a gratitude text. I'm kind of steering away from that. I have went more towards voice drops. Number one, they're less expensive for me. Number two, people hear my voice instead of a tone in a text that they can't hear. So my gratitude voice drop goes out mid-November when clients are thinking gratitude. And so that is super important to me. I have done text and voice drops in the same month. You just need to make sure that you space those out 2 weeks apart. So gratitude text should go out at the end of the month, in my opinion, and voice drop at the beginning, if you're going to do both. Just because the text, you're going to get a lot more text to come through after Thanksgiving and start talking about holidays and shopping, and all those procrastinators start jumping on the bandwagon. But the voice drop should be really simple and not salesy. The text should be the same way. It's literally just, hey, I'm just so grateful for your loyalty, for getting me to where I'm at. If you need anything for sales or service, obviously that's going to be in the text or the gratitude voice drop, but it shouldn't be forefront. It should be really thanking your clients and being grateful for them to be a part of your journey. And then obviously emails. So my schedule looks like 1st of October is postcards drop. And then end of October, catalogs go out. November is gratitude, but specifically just phone calls are happening that month. And then my holiday email does not go out until December 1st. I have done this the same way for years, and I love it because the launch goes out December 1st, and then I have a reminder, a last chance and my extension is always positioned to throw me into the next year so that I never start the new year at a zero because that gives me anxiety. So day one, I have to have sales. Noah's laughing because he knows this. Um, so that's kind of how my sales work, and everything is on spreadsheets, and I have it all put together because that's how I take control of my business instead of scrambling at the end. I treat my marketing plan kind of like a roadmap. When I follow it, I just know where I'm headed. So, if you block these things out in your calendar, you guys, if it's scheduled, it's going to get done, or it should get done. Consistency creates confidence for you and for your clients. Okay, step two is preparation. We've done planning. Now we're in preparation before you reach out. This is so important. Great follow-up isn't about randomly calling people. It's about being prepared and being intentional. So I segment my lists. So I have my postcard list, my catalog list. I have lists for holiday gift givers, the people that I know buy every single year without fail. I have gifting clients, my realtor clients, so that those are all segmented. And then I have my leads. Leads are, you might think this is crazy, but everybody here use quote pads at the booth. I never throw my yellow sheets away until the end of the year. Those people all get called at Christmas time because they've thought about it at one point, and it's easier to spend money at Christmas. It's weird, but it is. So all those people get called. All my business leads get called. There's should never be a day that you don't have somebody to call, right? But segmenting your list is going to keep you organized and on track. Reviewing the history notes before you call. So what did they buy? What are they missing? Who do they gift? Are they people that gift their kids every single year? Are they like big time cooks? I mean, this should all be in your history notes anyways before you're calling your clients. So you should have some sort of an idea of what you're going to be talking about. Do you know that their daughter's getting married next year? So obviously you want to save them some money and get them a good set this year at Christmas time, right? Before prices go up and all of that. And then the conversation being seasonal is really important to me. So fall is about harvest, home, holidays, and hosting. If you speak to that, it just gives you so much more to talk to your clients about. Harvest, home, holidays, and hosting. Do they do any, like, are they hosting this year? Who's hosting? Can they bring a host gift? A lot of people will do it. So before I ever pick up the phone, I know exactly why I'm calling and what I'm offering. Those are super important things to know before you ever get on the phone. Step three, make the first follow-up personal and purposeful. Follow-up isn't about pushing a product. It's about creating conversations. So think about calling your clients and saying something like, well, hey, I was just thinking of you when I'm heading into the fall, wanted to know how your Cutco is treating you. Because maybe there's a knife that they overuse and abuse, and so they need two of them. During COVID, my clients called me all the time and said, hey, that whole line about it's okay to have doubles and triples of your favorite knife is a real thing because they were all at home cooking more. So if you set those little thought joggers in their head as you call with that conversation, and it's not like, hey, I'm just calling to get your order. It's, I'm thinking about you. So maybe it's been a while since we chatted and I just wanted to share a few fun fall ideas for you. Or we're getting close to the holidays. What's the gifting plan look like for you this year? Are we buying for kids now this year? We did trimmers last year. So I'm thinking this is a tip that I always give my clients. If they're only buying one knife a year for their kids, I always tell them do straight blades one year, teeth the next year, straight blades the next year, teeth the next year. It gives them a balanced set. And when you become the expert in helping your clients to understand what they should be buying, then they're just going to come to you and go, hey, what do we need? And those are the best conversations. Always keep the focus on serving, not selling. Offer value. Have tips and suggestions like laying around for you so that you have those tips that you can say, hey, I'm just calling to, give a fall tip, a fall cleaning tip on your knives. Barkeeper's Friend. It's such a great tool. I don't know if you put yours in the dishwasher. You can give them those tips and then offer solutions for them. The other thing is to aim to make at least 10 quality conversations a day. I did not say 10 calls. I said 10 quality conversations. That might take you 50 to 75 calls in a day to get those 10. But what is your minimum standard? I don't quit my day until I've done what I said I was going to do. So, small, consistent actions lead to massive results. And if you have that minimum standard of 10 quality conversations on the days that you're working, I love what JC said about balance because I'm a balance kind of girl. But if you have those 10 quality conversations a day, your sales are going to go through the roof. Step 4 is using your CRM like a business brain. I love my CRM. I use it like crazy. It's where my consistency lives. It's how I stay on top of every single detail and nothing slips through the cracks. I use history notes, I use lists, and I use tags like nobody's business. So every single thing, anytime we talk to a client, it goes in the history notes. There's always a forward moving task for every single account within my database. Some of the tags I like to use, in case you haven't used tags or you just want some new ones, I use give gifts, business owner, loves USA made. I have all the colors of Cutco, so red Cutco, blue Cutco, purple Cutco, whatever. So that way, if a new red knife, like the 7.5-inch veggie knife, comes out in red, I can go through and quickly grab all those tags of anybody that loves red Cutco, and I'm calling every single person. Army vet, Marine vet, Navy vet, like all of the vets, it's a great opportunity to call their spouse and see if you could get them to do a really unique gift for Christmas. K-bar, logo, rank, dates of service, boom. If they love cooking, gardening, all of those things. On the list side, I do zip codes, I do service requests. The three that I really live by are service completed in 2025 or whatever year it is, annual checkup in 2025, and holiday call in 2025. These are really great, easy reports if you want to pull your numbers and see how many calls you made to check in on your clients that year, how many you serviced, and how many holiday calls you made. And then I always have a wait list on there for my different cities. That one's a newer list that I've had that is super, super helpful. So if I'm going to a city, I can just pull that wait list up and those people will get called for service. This turns my data into a direction. And at any moment, I know exactly where my next 10 sales are coming from. One of my largest builders took 2 years of follow-up. He kept telling me, follow up with me in 6 months. Then I sharpened for him. And then I followed up again, and then again, and then again. And 2 years later, now he's one of my most consistent business buyers. So I utilize my CRM like it's my Bible. Uh, Step 5, plant some seeds and follow up again. The fortune isn't in just the follow up, it's in the second and the third follow up. So lots of people aren't going to buy on the first message, and that's totally okay. Um, Plan a second touch point after you've made that initial call or whatever. Plan a second touch point. Sometimes it's 5 to 7 days later, but make sure you switch up the channel. So you'll see in my history notes, if I've called them one time, the next time is going to be either a text or an email. I absolutely love doing voice memos because they can hear my voice. I also love to do videos. It's very hard to turn down a face. And you can, always end it with stay sharp, you know. So stay casual with it all. You never want to be that high pressure pushy salesperson. Just, hey, I'd love to help you plan with your gifts this year, or I just wanted to circle back in case you missed my first message. I know life is busy. The fall is super busy. And then when you do connect, just make it really easy to create that yes. offer the gifting options that you've already curated for them. If you're doing a business gift order, offer multi-ship or drop shipping. Take that off their plate. Offer gift wrapping, right? It's $5. All the guys will always pay for it, by the way. Girls are like, I could buy a whole roll for $5. So offer that solution. You know what? I got you. I will gift wrap that for you. Take one thing off your plate. Also, remind people, and this falls by the wayside for some reason at the end of the year, but always be promoting our payment options. This is a busy time of year where people are spending money on lots of different things. So to be able to sneak in there on the payment option and get their order bigger and take care of so many other things and stay within their budget in case they need snow tires or in case the kid needs braces in November, whatever, you want to be able to make sure that you are offering that up for them. And then always make sure that they have a deadline. So, whatever that is, whatever your holiday sale looks like, hey, you want to make sure if it's business gifts, make sure that you're getting these done now because you want to make sure that they're given out in November. Or, hey, if you're doing a realtor thing, make sure that you get your tax deductions in before and the systems set up before the end of the year. Hey, our shipping is coming. We don't own the shipping companies. This is one of my favorite lines. We don't own the shipping companies. Well, I'd like to, we don't. So we cannot guarantee once we place the order and it gets on the truck, then it's out of our hands. So the sooner you get your gifting done, the better. Wouldn't you rather have it in your home ready to go than wonder if UPS is going to mess it up? Let's get this done now. So, that's kind of the way I do it. And I loved what JC said about the mall. Like, we're only here for 3 more days. Step 6 is my favorite. It's social media, but with intention, guys. So social media should reflect who you are and not what you sell. I have a 3-tier approach. I have 3 different ways. So my personal page is my everything. That's the highlight reel to Tara. So it's family, fun, gratitude, records I'm breaking, my journey along the way, concerts, travel, grandkids, all the things sprinkled with Cutco right on in there, right? Because people want to buy from people they love. So that's my personal page. My business page is all things Cutco 24/7. Tips, tricks, recipes, product info, where I'm going to be, all of that kind of stuff. And then the private group, a lot of you probably have one. That's kind of like what Mike Dowd calls the country club. It's invite only, behind the scenes, deeper connection, VIP updates and contests and things like that. So when people start seeing your consistency online with all of these different groups, and I plan them all out, I take a couple hours on a weekend and I just map out everything that's going to happen within my social medias. So then I can just have fun with it the rest of the week. When they see that consistency, though, that they trust that you run your business the same way, you're consistent. The last step I'm going to talk about is service, energy, and balance. When everything else and everybody else in all those other businesses slow down, we just don't. And service should be one of those things that never slows down. Service keeps you in relationship mode, and relationships drive results. I do service 12 months out of the year. I am never the person that takes, like, even during fair season, I'm still doing service. Service is super important. A sharpening appointment in October can turn into that 20-piece gift order in November or December. Last year, I serviced for one of my top clients in October, and then we talked about gift. She wasn't ready. We talked about it. I followed up again and again and again. And in December, early December, she wrote up an order for 300 pairs of shears. So remember, visibility equals value. And then don't forget the energy is your brand, right? So I love that JC talked about this because I think a lot of times we just think about it behind the booth and we don't think about it like when you're showing up to make calls during the day that you need to keep your energy levels up. So exercise every day. I think I'm going on almost 3 years without missing a day of exercise. It just needs to happen. I'm consistency crusher through and through. Drink your water, eat well, don't be eating fast food all the time. And then the other part about your energy is keep a consistent work schedule. So it is a little difficult in the holiday season, but if you have your schedule and you have your calendar, that should not be a thing. So I'm in my office every day by 7:30 and I hit the phones and go. And but when I'm done with work, I'm done with work because it has to have that balance and you have to train your clients that way. Now, holidays are a little bit tricky because I do answer the phone at weird times. I never want to ruin somebody's Christmas, so I will, as long as I'm not with my family, I will make exceptions during the holidays, but it's the only time of year that I do. My voicemail, actually, I have not changed it in probably 6 years because it's so good. It literally says if you've reached my voicemail, I am either giving 100% of my time to another client or I'm making memories with my family. Either way, I want to talk to you. So if you leave your message, I'll get back to you. I have not lost a client since I've changed my voicemail to that. People appreciate it. They'll leave me messages going, that's the greatest message ever. So take time with your family. Don't worry about it. Call me later. Like it's phenomenal. So I encourage you all to make your voicemails sound great like that. My family is my why. Anybody that follows me on social will know that. I do not sacrifice memories for milestones. I have built a business that gives me both. So, to recap, and I know I'm not a 30-minute talker, so you're welcome. So, to recap, plan your marketing and stick to it. Use your CRM as your business brain. Stay consistent with follow up. Be visible and valuable, both online as well as in person, and protect your energy and make time for what matters most. Finishing strong isn't about pushing harder, you guys. It's about creating patterns that produce results. So pick one area of those, whether it's your follow up, your CRM, or your calendar, and get consistent with that this week. Because when your systems are solid and your follow up is strong, your sales will go higher than you can even imagine, and your life will stay completely full. And that is what I have for you. The end.
Mic drop. Awesome message, Tara. That was fire.
Thank you.
Of course, we got time for Q&A. We got 10 minutes reserved for Q&A. So if anyone has a question out there, go ahead.
I got a question. This is Fonz. I just wanted to say first off, what a great message. When I look at this, I got the vantage point of working at different corporations outside of Cutco. And what I like is that oftentimes we forget that we're mini businesses. We're small businesses. And your business is investable. I can invest in your business based off your systems, based off of, everything that you have with your follow-up. And so in that same vein, I know that it's taking you time to get it to the point where you can literally like sell your business and be investable. What do you do as far as follow-up for your catalogs? Do you qualify your list even more so that you're not just calling a bunch of random people, or do you do the shotgun approach, or how do you manage your time? Because I know you were saying time is one of the biggest things. Like, how do you manage your time around a big group of people that you've sent catalogs out to? Like, what's your who do you go first? What's your attack?
Sure. Number one, they're never random. If I've sent them catalogs, they got catalogs for a reason. So they're the high ticket clients that generally always buy, right? So they're easy. And then I hire additional holiday callers to make sure that time is spent wisely. And so everybody is getting a call. And honestly, I am inundated by incoming calls. So the outbound calls, that is why I had to start hiring extra holiday callers, because I can't get through all the calls at once. It's a great problem to have. But I think I have four this year, five holiday callers this year to help. Does that answer?
Yeah, to maybe follow up on that, do you have like specific scripts that they go through, and are they basically setting it up where it's a layup for you to just call them back and take the order, or do you still have to
Oh no,
kind of.
they're taking the orders. They know how to sell. I mean, I make sure that if somebody wants to buy something, if it's something that they can't handle, obviously they'll tag it over to me. But for the most part, they're calling and just collecting orders.
So
So
for the people that are not as advanced in their business as you are and probably can't necessarily do something like that, what would you suggest in terms of having a big list like that and trying to attack that list and not having the time to do it?
sure, I've actually talked to a couple of reps like this that have only been in the business like a year or two. The easiest way to start with calling is going back to Vector Connect and looking at everybody that ordered in November and December of last year and start with those people. It's that's such an easy thing because they bought this time last year. Why wouldn't they be buying again this year? So those are an easy way to call. Um, and then that's another reason that planning is key and having those lists segmented out. So whether they're in the business for 1 year and if this is your first holiday season, go back and start at January and start calling every single person that's ordered from you this year and check in on their Cutco. How did you like it? How many fingers do you have left? All the things. How can we help you save some money at the end of the year for gifting for other people and also yourself? So there's always different ways. It just depends on where you are in your business. For me, yes, I've been doing this for a long time, so I have a different thing, but I would say easiest is start with November and December of last year. Who bought those years because or those months because they're obviously buying in the holiday season.
Great. That's exactly what I was looking for. Like just where to start. Yep.
Awesome, awesome. All right. Who's got some other questions for Tara? No, we got someone out there.
Mhm.
Jared Farber, no, I know he has a question. Come on, Jared. He always has a question. Josh, you want to ask a question?
Mhm. Nope, they're all good.
Thinking. Okay.
Yeah, I think
Oh, question from Jaquel.
she's
How
a
do you justify all the concerts and things you do?
I because I work hard and I play harder. I didn't
Okay.
get into this gig to work for the rest of my life. I got into this gig so I'd have a flexible schedule and the money to do what I want. The end. Also,
So
when you have those fun times, and JC kind of talked about this a little bit about refreshing and like taking the walks and doing the things. My walks just happen to be Caribbean cruises and concerts. Um, so when you have that time that you can, do those refreshment things, you come back from that, and then you have more things to talk about with your clients. You're in the right headspace. It's just such a easier way to come back. And then I work with something to look forward to.
Go ahead, Josh.
I saw Kevin unmuted, so I didn't know if he wanted to go first or if he had a question.
I just have a, well, quick question, but for your social media, you said you have your personal page and then you have your business page and then you have a
A group.
group. Um, do you think it's important to have all three of those? And then, or I guess both the business page and the group, or, and then also how do you keep track of like posting? Like, do you have a reminder in your calendar to like post something every day? Do you do like every other day? How do you
Yeah.
uh, keep consistent with that?
So I don't know if it's important to have a page and a business page. I just know people are weird and some people won't want to join a group, but they're happy to see your updates on your page. So for me, I started with a page, so it just seems silly to get rid of it now. And obviously I'm never going to get rid of my personal page. But so in both of those though, the page as well as the group, you can plan out posts. So I just take a couple hours every weekend and I will plan out for the next couple of weeks different posts. And then if there's something that comes up, like, I don't know, Blue Cutco announced, then boom, there you go. You can throw that in wherever you need to. But I make sure that everything is on a plan. I just go through and figure out what I want to post. And so I'm super consistent with it. And I can actually plan posts on my personal page because I'm a digital content creator too. So it makes life a little bit easier.
Hmm.
Thank you.
Yeah, the planner in the page and the group isn't as friendly of a planner as the page is. The page is, I really enjoy doing those planned posts a lot more than I have to keep a couple extra notes in the group. For some reason, it doesn't, it's a little different in planning those posts. But yeah, and then utilize ChatGPT or AI or whatever. And literally you can type into ChatGPT, give me 7 posts for that are including polls, kitchen hacks, Cutco spreader tip, inspiration, like funny in the kitchen, whatever. Give me 7 of these posts and then it will just shoot it out in like 10 seconds. And then I save those and then I go back and say, now give me a realistic graphic of an avocado being cut. And so now I have the image for it, right? So it does take a couple of hours depending on how many you want to do, but it's so satisfying when you start getting all of that engagement. And if you track your sales from social media, it's even more fun.
Um, so what I'm hearing, you can actually plan out the posts, like schedule them in advance.
Yep.
Okay, that's nice.
Beautiful. Right. Who's got I on my social media, I am very much post and go. I do not scroll during income producing hours. So I don't have time for any of that. That's a rabbit hole that I do not want to go down during the day. All those things are still going to be there after 5 o'clock at night, right? So if I can just plan all of that and then, at nighttime I can see who's posting or who's commenting or whatever, and I can get back to them. And everybody has my phone number or my messaging. So if I have a message sent to me, then I can look at that. But as far as posting stuff, I schedule everything.
All right, we got time for one more. Josh.
Awesome message. Can never hear enough about consistency. Um, so for me, I was going to ask, when you're doing your marketing, are you segmenting those lists of like who's hearing what messaging, or are you just kind of, hey, this is my catalog marketing. Everybody gets these catalogs. Everybody gets this postcard. Everybody gets just the standard email, or I mean, are you segmenting those lists in any way? I mean, I don't know, BizGift and Realtor, but do they get like residential stuff too? Or
Yes, everybody got anybody under a certain amount of CPO and a lifetime value or a lifetime value of CPO and from a certain year forward, got postcards, whether they were realtors, business owners, residential, it didn't matter. I want to sell to everybody. Um, so on that, and then catalog, same thing. I don't really care. Call me because you're not gonna, all you see is the price on there anyways in the catalog. And then you're gonna call me and go, what can you do if I do this, 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 and this, and this, right? So they only see the initial part of that. All they need to see is the word sale. That's all I need them to see. And then to call me and we can work our magic. But um yeah, so I don't segment other than the call lists of so that we can make sure that all the calls are getting done. And service is always first. When we call, it's, hey, wanted to check in on your Cutco. How's everything going? Beautiful. Did you get my postcard? Has my big old face on it. So you can't miss it, right? And then it's give me the 30-second highlight. What's going on in your world? I love doing that because that's going to build that relationship. I do that at the booth. I do that at service thing. I mean, I love the 30-second highlight reel.
Awesome, Tara. Thank you so much for speaking to the team. We always love it when you speak, and I know everyone got some awesome tips. You're the consistency queen, that's for sure. Cool. Well, I think I will stop the recording.